Shanghai. It was not so long ago.
Hello everybody, my name is Michael Himnity Winter. I'm the Consul General of Denmark to Shanghai. I've been in this wonderful city for a bit more than 2.5 years.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit about before you came here in Shanghai as a Consul General? Have you ever traveled to China or Shanghai before?
This is my first time in Shanghai, but I have been on holidays, but only to Beijing, and that goes more than 20 years back. So I've seen a lot of changes in China since.
So now you moved to Shanghai. How do you feel about the city?
I must say, I am fascinated with this place, and there are many reasons for my fascination.
Okay.
Basically, Shanghai is what I call an extremely livable city.
Okay.
Most of the areas, they put people first, how to use the space.
Right.
There are certainly a lot of impressive big buildings that I call show buildings.
Right.
Built for architectural show-off.
Right.
Either because they are very tall,
Yeah.
or they have a very interesting shape, or they are placed together with other, becoming like a skyline or an iconic image that you enjoy watching it as like a tourist.
Right.
But Shanghai also has a lot of public space,
Right.
which compared to other Asian cities, and there I'm talking mostly about Southeast Asia, where I will live for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shanghai is more focused on how people can use the space, which is public space.
Okay.
We live very close by. If you look at out of the window here,
Yeah.
we have the former French concession right outside our window. No denying that is a really, really nice place to walk. My wife and I, when we take walks,
Right.
we basically just walk around there because there's still so many corners, small lanes. Even the most iconic streets like Anfulu,
Yeah.
Wukanglu, Julu, Changlilu,
Right.
many of them keep both secrets in its own,
Yes.
and they have, of course, a lot of good things to do, cocktail,
Right.
restaurants,
Right.
and funny people who are going around like us, enjoying
Yeah.
the place,
Yeah.
mixed with locals.
Yeah.
And then on my own, I'm a bicyclist. I'm from Denmark, so
Right.
bicycling is a big thing for me. Not sport or racing bike,
Yeah.
but leisure bicycle. And there, I actually prefer to go to the more local areas of Shanghai, where the people have their normal Shanghai life. It's not glamorous,
Right.
it's not iconic,
Right.
it may not even be historical,
Right.
but it's a normal living place.
Yeah.
I try to reach there if I take my electric scooter where I have more,
Mm-hmm.
I can go longer distance.
One thing I think we heard about in Denmark, people like to cycle. It's kind of a lifestyle already. So, could you also share a little bit about like why people in Denmark like to cycle? While in China, actually, a lot of people feel having their own car.
First of all, I think every society goes through different phases, and as individuals, we go through different phases. When I was a kid, I also dreamed about a very fancy car, like a German car, an expensive car, a convertible Mercedes or something
Yeah.
that I could show off as showing my status if I became successful. I think all of us, all nationalities, that's not
We always got shoot dream, huh?
when you strive for something and you achieve it, you want people to know it. So I think that's a human thing.
It's a very human thing. Yes.
So I think we have that too. And in Denmark, bicycle is. Many people think that we bicycle because it's healthy, or we do it to protect the environment, and there's certainly that motive for many. But most of people, I believe, in Denmark, they do it for convenience. Parking is easy,
Right.
although now it's almost like a challenge in Denmark, in Copenhagen, to park your bicycle because there's so many of them. But it's still easier than to find a parking place for a car.
Yeah.
It's also easier. You don't have to go into the metro.
Yeah.
You get exactly where you need to be. You could do it fast because you avoid the traffic.
Right.
And then benefit is also that you freshen up the energy.
Right.
And I think it also means something. You pollute less.
Yeah.
So the environment becomes better.
Right.
But for individual choices, I think convenience is one thing that
Right.
really plays a role.
Right.
And convenience is also created by authorities or communities.
Right.
Convenience is not coming on its own. Many big cities in Europe are not very easy to spy ticket in. They are dangerous because there's no facilities.
Yeah.
Here in Copenhagen, almost 90% I think or more have dedicated bicycle lanes.
Right. So can you tell us what kind of cultural attraction, what kind of places in Shanghai contribute by the Danish architecture firms?
I can see that Shanghai has also, the Shanghai government, the Shanghai people are inspired by European architecture. Of course, you also have buildings.
Yeah.
You have architecture that comes from Europe because from the old times when Shanghai was influenced by foreign, especially European, but also Japanese,
Right.
American architecture, Western architecture. That mix, I think, is very attractive for foreigners because you see something you recognize.
Right.
But there's also a reason for why that architecture has been popular, and Danish architecture has been popular because Danish architecture focus on the human being and the use of a building more than on the look of the building from outside. It actually focuses on those people who are inside the building.
Right.
While sometimes you see also European architecture and Asian architecture is the architect shows off to the developer. Look what this building will look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the developer can show your ego together with the architect. Together they will present something that becomes part of the postcard.
Right.
As I said, the skyline.
Right.
Danish architecture, you will see, for example, I think it's called the Eastern Library in Pudong New District.
Yeah.
I call it the White Diamond because we have a similar building, same architecture company in Denmark, called the Black Diamond in the middle of of Copenhagen.
Right.
A library is really a place that should attract people to go in and enjoy the space.
Right.
So you will see many ways of how the light plays a role, how the look plays a role, how the functionality, the movements.
Yeah.
So you want to stay in there as a person.
Right.
So it may not look so attractive from outside. I think it does, but it's not the priority.
It's a balance.
It's a balance. You go in, and it plays with the surroundings. So the window passes will be also reflecting what is outside.
Right.
So it's designed to give you a feeling of, I want to be in here.
Right.
I want to read books. I want to use the facilities. You will see that this architects in Denmark also works with the sound engineers because a library will also have a place to listen to maybe presentation or even theaters. And therefore the acoustics of the room is also important.
Yeah.
And that reflects a lot on those buildings that I can see Danish architecture has designed. Together with Chinese, both developers and architects. I know that there's a place in the West Bank where the whole area is developed by also Danish architecture because Danish architects and city planners and urban planners are working very closely to design areas, not only buildings, but areas that are connected so they become usable and friendly.
So I think when we're looking at a lot of like buildings, architecture in Shanghai, actually behind architecture, we see a lot of cross-cultural exchange and also the collaboration between the professionals from Shanghai, China, and also from Denmark and other countries as well. So the kind of a little bit invisible aspects of the diversity of Shanghai, people usually don't know because people see the building, but people don't necessarily know what is the story behind it. So we should, try to share more the stories like that. Actually, before the Chinese New Year, I know that you released a song. You wrote the song and also you give the lyrics, so everything you done by yourself, right? You even released a MTV about this song called Shanghai Ren. Could you tell us a little bit about the story behind the song?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm quite happy with that song. I'm a musician as a hobby. I'm definitely not professional, but I've been playing music with many musicians around the world because it's really something I enjoy. And it also helps me in my job to reach out to other type of people and communities than I would do if I'm just staying in my diplomatic job. So it also adds to my experience to play music. I reach other groups of people and I engage with other people.
Right.
So music has always been important. So when in Shanghai, I think it's such a well-described, famous city, famous for its beauty. We just talked about why. Fascinating architecture, history. But I wanted to write about the people of Shanghai. And that's inspired by all my bicycle rides.
Right.
Because Shanghai people are busy people, unimpressed with the surroundings. They have seen it all already because it's such a lively place with so many things going on. So I wanted to catch that spirit. I call it a rock and roll spirit.
Rock and roll spirit.
And rock and roll spirit is somebody who has done it all, seen it all, and is busy with the stuff.
Right.
And so the song is really about, I try to be humoristic and pretend that my life goal is to become a Shanghainese. But I will never be one. But I try to get close to the Shanghai people, to get them to know. I want them to open to me, and they do. Maybe I can be one of you.
This is a kind of curiosity issue with many people. Sometimes probably there is the barrier such like language. So people do not necessarily feel comfortable to communicate, to reach out. But I think actually, in the end of the day, I think you mentioned about it's a people-to-people exchange. There's a verbal communication. There's also non-verbal communication. So I think that is why you use music, trying to engage with exchange. I think at least the most important thing is we keep trying, and we have this curiosity, and we find the right different ways to overcome the barrier we have.
I think yes, exactly. Sorry, you just used the word curiosity, and I think that is a key word. It's a very common word, and it's an emotion that most of us have.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth underlining that if you are curious, and I almost appeal to everybody to do that.
Yeah.
Put away prejudices or assumptions,
right,
and look at the curiosity. Take your own curiosity and use it to get deeper into things. If you open your eyes and your ears, and you basically open your heart. I know it sounds a little like a cliche, but that's what my job is, to be curious and to be able to communicate.
Right.
But I try to put that job aside and then use it for my own benefit, not to do my job better, but just to learn and experience, and maybe even reverse some of my assumptions or correct some of my assumptions I had before I got to know a place.
Yeah.
And then get a new both attitude and knowledge that is just rewarding and enriching.
Yeah, I think the last question I would like to ask you is if our audience, that if they travel to Denmark, do you have some recommendation in terms of whether they should travel to, and also if there's a kind of a festival, something which is also they should probably, if they have a chance to go to at a particular time to participate in the festival or something?
First of all, this year,
okay,
Denmark and China are celebrating 75 years. 75 years of diplomatic relations, and this is gonna be celebrated all over China. Is also going to be celebrated in Denmark.
Okay.
So of course, basically, when you go to another country, you want to see what that country is about, not so much about what your own country is about.
Right.
So I also try to see more Chinese things than Danish things.
Mm.
So just like if you use the same way that I have been benefiting from by being in Shanghai, is go outside the normal influencer,
like Copenhagen,
mobile phone stick areas. You have all the iconic places in Copenhagen.
Okay.
My recommendation is you've already seen so much of that on your own mobile phone, on your internet.
Okay.
Try to go out to the suburbs, to other cities. There are many beautiful cities in Denmark. Not Copenhagen is just the center of the whole thing, and there's many spots there.
Okay.
But you can easily get that done, tick off your bucket list,
Right.
and then move into other areas, both of historical and architecture and small villages where you will see very simple life. Also in Denmark, although it's a wealthy country,
Yeah.
you have places where people live simple lives and where you will enjoy both the hospitality,
Yeah.
the culture, the landscape, and the easygoingness
Yeah.
of our country. So I just really recommend to go out of the, like I say to people who visit Shanghai, don't just go to the front. That's not the only place in Shanghai.
And Shanghai have this unique character. That's why I think everybody recognizes Shanghai is the most international city in China. But also China is very, very diverse. If you go to the different parts of China, you somehow feel this kind of a diverse culture.
Yes.
People speak different dialects, they have a very different cuisine, they have a very different hobby. So I think only you probably experience different cities and you travel to different regions of China, people will be able to comprehend the kind of different facets. That's why, domestically speaking, like sometimes when the Chinese people travel from one region or one city to another region, another city, they also feel a little bit like foreign to them. They don't understand the local dialect. But good thing is we have a Mandarin, which is kind of our shared language.
Sure.
People could communicate. I mean, one important way to broaden our horizon is travel and just try to have more diverse experience. I think this is something is valuable. It doesn't matter where people are coming from. So
That's how to do it.
yeah, that's how to do it. So the last request I would say that I'd ask is, can you play a little bit your iconic song, the Shanghai Ren, for us?
I'd be happy to.
I came to Shanghai, it was not so long ago. Heard the story since the glory, met the people in the know. Will you show it so I know it? What's the spirit of this place? I am serious, always curious, help me see it face to face. I wanna get under your skin. Shanghai Ren, will you take me in? With the spirit like rock and roll. Shanghai Ren, show me your soul. I take my bike that I like, it can get me very far. Or I go speedy, grab a dini, they are Shanghai's real style. I've been taken, almost shaken, I've been Shanghai by this place. Shanghai Ren took me in, now this crowd has got a face. I wanna get under your skin. Shanghai Ren, you took me in. With the spirit like rock and roll. Shanghai Ren, show